According to our intel experts, not only would a ban of Muslims in general, by region, by disposition, arguably be illegal, but they all say there is consensus that you would be giving the enemy what it wants, for this to be us versus them. Would you still consider a ban?
Well, he's talked about the ban, and he's made it much more circumscribed, even in the course of the campaign. So I would commend everybody to see what he's actually said about it and what's on his website in terms of how to defeat radical Islamic terrorism. What he says there, Chris, is very clear, that we need better vetting policies. There are countries, as you and I speak, that are training, harboring, and indeed exporting terrorists to places like Nice and Brussels, and now Berlin, Germany, and certainly Paris and the United States of America. In San Bernardino, and of course a radicalized lone wolf terrorist in Orlando, killing 49 innocent people in May of this year. So people know here and abroad that terrorism is meant to feel like the, quote, new normal, but we don't need to accept that. ISIS is a relatively new player on the terrorism front across the globe. It was created in part because of the vacuum that was left and how we got out of Iraq, and in part because it's not always taken seriously by the leaders we currently have. You can screen based on what someone does. What I'm asking you is, are you comfortable screening based on what someone is? That their being a Muslim becomes a trigger for your policy. He's gone back and forth about it based on the level of criticism. What are you saying today? Well, he hasn't gone back and forth. He doesn't go back and forth on anything based on criticism. I mean, if you're us, and certainly if you're him, you are impervious to naysayers and critics in terms of them changing policy. But he's talked about this. I mean, you're going back to over a year ago and what he said about the ban versus what he said later about it when he made it much more specific and talked about countries where we know that they've got a higher propensity of training and exporting. And I got you. I'm asking the simple question of whether or not being a Muslim will be a trigger. That's my question. Simple. No, it's not. No, it's not, Chris. And you're asking the same question different ways, and he has responded to this many different times. Will being a Muslim be a trigger? Will that count as something that you're going to look at in your policy? That in and of itself? Yeah. No.